Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Pretty Girls Mahjong Solitaire. New day. So I've been playing for about 3 hours now according to Steam and it already feels like too much. But let's continue stage 3 final round. It would be a real mistake not to. Uh, so it's incredibly strange to have a game where I have to make both criticisms at the same time. It seems insane to even say it, but this game is really short for a solitaire game because it has no replayability. I guess that's the better way to explain it. It doesn't feel like it's gonna have any replayability in it, but then it's also rather long because it's got some quirks to it that you kind of want to do. And it has Steam trading cards and it has achievements thrown in here, and none of those elements add anything to the game. They actually hurt the game. Achievements in general, man, am I gonna have to do this immediately? Have been very detrimental, or sometimes they're detrimental to a game, maybe not consistently detrimental, because they have you doing things in the game that you normally wouldn't do, and it has the programmers of the game spending energy thinking up achievements and way to trigger the unlocking of achievements instead of making their core game better. And this is a perfect example of that. We have a core game of Mahjong Solitaire happening here that's pretty bad, and then we have achievements added on, trading cards added on, girls added on, outfits added on, all these added on things where effort, money, time, some resource of something was spent on all these other things, and they didn't get the main game worth playing. You can't even get this full screen, which is kind of ridiculous. Half the screen is missing it. If you were to port this to a cell phone game, half of your cell phone screen would be committed to this. You'd have to rethink the entire layout. I think I am. Wow, look at all these matches I missed. I would have said there weren't any on the field at all. And boy, I can't blame being tired for the moment because I kind of just woke up, so I could only blame being not quite awake. Ironically, yeah, I can spend half my day blaming my bad gameplay on being half asleep because I'm tired, and half of it I'm half asleep because I just woke up. I only spend like a few hours a day properly mentally alert. At least I can make that claim. It's probably not true. So I don't want to move too fast here, but I would like to speed up if I could. But Now, as far as I understand the Japanese language, there's nothing incredibly filthy or dirty you can say in Japanese. It's more how you say it. So most languages have a lot of phrases and a few words by themselves that just the only utterance of them is gonna potentially enrage everybody in the room. But it doesn't really work that way, because you can say the same thing in Japanese with different inflections and mean a lot different. Kind of sort of like how you can sarcastically say things when you're speaking out loud, but if you're typing it on like Facebook or Twitter or whatever, if the people don't know you, they might not know that you're being sarcastic, or even the people do know, you might not realize you're being sarcastic, because the inflection and how you say things doesn't get translated over. So you have to take everything literally as it's written. Or you can at least take everything literally. So, still trying to find all the matches. Still got a lot going on here. But once this round 3 is done, we'll be done with this girl, and that's all the achievements is beat all the stages for one girl, beat all the stages for another girl, beat all the stages for another girl. So they weren't even really ambitious in the achievements. They had very basic general ideas. This. Let's see. This. This one and this one. And this one and that one. And this one and that one. And we've got a whole pile of connections up here. So I really need to get rid of a lot of those. This and that. This and that. This and that. This and that. That and that. So the question is there one of these anywhere? No. Is there one of these anywhere? No. Is there one of these anywhere? No. I can't click on no match for that one. Can't click on that. Can't click on that. There is a match here, so that would be good to play it. And see, if I do this and this, then I have this and this would match. But if I make that match, then this and this will match. But do I have another match? Yes, I do. So I have this and this as my backup, the two blanks. And so, but if I make the two blanks, then then I could do the one here. See, it's really strange that you can't shuffle when you run out of moves. That's what's messing this up. So if I do this and this, I guess I have these two as backup. So this and this is okay, this and this is okay, this and this is okay. And so this and this match, this and this match, this and this match. None of those things help me though. This and this does help. This and this helps. They can't get to this 5, can't get to this 2, can't get to this 4. Time to reshuffle. 33, and let's see, here and here, and if I take this out, I can take this out, this, and this, and that. So we're left with just this 4. So we get this, and then at this point we finished and we succeeded. And so she's in a 2-piece frilly bathing suit. And so we got stage 3 of Canon done, which we forgot to finish stage 3 of Canon. Somehow in the process. So we unlock her new outfit for what it's worth. Again, no shoes, but I think in this case, if I can look, no toes either. No socks and no toes. Talk about laziness. Didn't even bother to cover up the fact that you can't draw toes. They have fingers. They should have toes. So now we can move forward on Arena Stage 2, and maybe we'll have to beat Stage 2 and we'll unlock the 5th girl, or maybe we'll have to beat Stage 3. All we can do is move forward. We're playing on the easy mode, and I certainly wouldn't ever want to play on hard mode again. We've got this indoor pool set up in the background, and we have Arena, who has a massive chest hair. G's, double G's, something like that. Ridiculously large. I often feel bad for girls with breast size that big. I just think about when they're hitting their 30s, 40s, and 50s and carrying all that weight and the back problems that they would have. But a lot of women probably would kill for some breasts that big until they had to live with it for a while. I guess I've never really cared that much. I guess I'm a jack of all trades when it comes to preference of breast size. Any size is probably alright. I'd much more want to care about the person's personality. And see, that's where getting like breast implants probably eliminates somebody from my interest. Is I would see that as a lack of confidence and just a personality flaw in general. I could certainly be talked out of it or overlook it, but changing your body so drastically just to make yourself feel good or attract somebody else it seems desperate. And in similar ways, I'm just not very pro body modification either. I think tattoos are silly because they fade, they look bad, and you have to touch them up, and you have to really get something impactful, and almost nobody ever does. They get really dumb things, often Japanese symbols when they don't speak Japanese, or so who knows what it says. And I just think it's too permanent a change, and I think the whole idea of piercing ears is kind of silly too. And putting holes in your ears and gauges. I knew a guy that had gauges in his ears and really big gauges. So he had not like giant 5-inch gauges in diameter, but probably half an inch size gauges, big enough gauges that the hole would certainly never heal. And then he got a job at a very prestigious and very professional company, and had to take them all out, and he's just got these holes in his ears that they do slowly close up, but they're never going to fully heal. And of course the joke is, if you get a tattoo on your face, that's basically assuring that you'll never work in a service industry or a regular job again in your life. Let's look at the combinations. Wow, there was only one match left. And yeah, I would agree with people that get tattoos and piercings and they're trying to express themselves, but the truth is society just doesn't like people that express themselves. So you have to just realize, if you're going to succeed or survive in society, it in a lot of ways is all about repressing being yourself and presenting what everybody else wants to see. In Japanese society in particular, that's all it's about, is being one with the crowd and conforming. And in similar reasons, that's why the only people that have any tattoos in Japan are people who are members of the Yakuza, the gangs, the mafia, and thus they are totally outside of normal society. And there's deep prejudice against anybody that has a tattoo in Japan. Things like beaches specifically put up signs saying you're not allowed here if you have a tattoo. It's a shame, but it's kind of what I know, that here we're trying to celebrate Chinese New Year and I don't know anything about it. This is, I think, part of the problem with China's cultural outreach in general is, in the West, all we get is the Western perspectives, the Western news talk about China, and we don't really get anything that sounds credible or even slightly believable from China itself. They don't really care. They're too busy dealing with their own people. But we don't even know simple basic things, and we should have more knowledge, and I should have more knowledge about China. It's a huge country, but what I know about it, what they have to offer, how they improve the world, is kind of just left up in the air. And there's certainly a lot of foreign countries, particularly in the United States, where that is a similar issue. We just don't either know about other countries at all because we're not educated in world history and geography. We're not educated well at all in the United States, and we just don't get those messages. So I couldn't tell you what Sweden brings to the world, other than I think Notch, the creator of Minecraft, is Swedish. So that's their only contribution as far as my knowledge. I don't know what Chile has done for the world or much about their history. And I could just go down probably the list of almost every country, and it's the same thing. And it's kind of excusable if you're just going to make an argument from geography and the size of a country. It's kind of excusable if you don't know what Iceland provides to the world, the tiny population of a country. But when you're talking China, the largest country in the world, geography-wise, you'd think we'd know more. I know that China is kind of imperialistic, and they've been taking over land masses all around them for a long time. But I kind of would prefer to know more about their culture, its people, not what its government does, because if I'm really gonna criticize China for its government, then I have to criticize the United States for its government, and I certainly wouldn't want to be responsible for the actions of the United States government, because they certainly didn't ask me to do the things they do. And so I don't think that's fair. Oh man. Speaking of unfair, so I'm looking at the time. Let's see if we can rush here. It's probably the worst way to learn about a country is to look at the actions of its governing body. Sadly, governments have a tendency to be corrupt and run by the most rich and influential people, not the vast majority of the populace of a country. So, when playing this game, you have to have 2 matches, I guess, visible at all times. Because you have to have that backup match so you don't run out of matches. Of course, I should use these abilities more to get rid of things. This with that. This with that. That with that. So you kind of need to use this ability as soon as you get it close to the beginning of the game, so you have a couple blinking ones. And once you have a couple blinking ones on the field, you're good. Let's see. Here, and do I have any more matches? I can do this and this, and I can get rid of that. Can I get rid of this? Yes. I can get rid of this. I can get rid of that. I can not get rid of that though. So this piece and this piece don't seem to show a match. And this piece doesn't seem to have a match, and this piece doesn't seem to have a match. And I could kind of concern myself with this one, and this one on the edge here, but I kind of don't need to either. That and that. And let's get rid of a 4 there. 2 there. This with that. This. This with this. This with this. This. These 2 match here. So I can get rid of that one. So I can get rid of that one. This 9 goes here. That gets rid of that. That gets rid of that, and then that gets rid of that, and then this can't get rid of that one. So shuffle again. That solves that. Now that we're down to the flat level, success is guaranteed. So, we've made a little bit more progress and we're down to the final round of stage 2. That's where we're going to end. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. I hope that helps out. If you want to support me further, go to my main YouTube page. On the right there's a button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.